Does the Kentucky Nazi Party support you?
I've never met anybody from any Nazi party, and that's a ridiculous charge and completely baseless. And let me just go further. The reason why it's a baseless charge is Nazism was government socialism. It's big government. I mean, there's nothing about Nazism that would even appeal remotely to people who like what I stand for, because I'm for limited constitutional government.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, we hear from both sides about concern about our image overseas. Now, I just heard you speak about Guantanamo. It sounds like you're kind of waffling on both sides. Can you elaborate that a little bit more, and why we should be concerned about what these people overseas should care about us when no matter what we do, they're not going to like us anyway. So, and also, do you support us going to the Iraq War, and should we win at that war, and you support the Afghanistan war?
I think the primary function of the federal government is national defense, bar none. That's what our federal government was instituted to do. It's something we can't do privately, and national defense is the #1 thing we do at a constitutional level. The Constitution does also talk about declaring war, and I think we should declare war. We haven't done that since World War II. If I'm elected, I will force a vote on declaration of war when we go to war. I will vote to go to war. If we need to go to war, I will vote to go to war to win. I will vote to go to war only under the U.S. flag and not under any UN banners. And I will not vote to micromanage the war, in the sense that I think Congress meddles too much with the general's decisions and the commander-in-chief. Congress gets to vote on declaring war, but not on managing it.
Very good. Next question, please. Go ahead. Two left here. Go ahead.
I have two quick questions. One, both of them are in regard to your major opponent in the Republican primary. I'm going to be attending pro-life luncheon as I go from here. Are there any statements you have that are different from your opponent as far as pro-life?
I'm 100% pro-life. I've been endorsed by the Pro-Life Concerned Women of America. I've been endorsed by the Pro-Life Northern Kentucky Right to Life. And as far as differences, I'm not sure on his position, but I can tell you my position. I believe that we should do what we can to limit, regulate, and or prohibit, whichever one we can get to, at both the state and federal level.
Okay, secondly, I've been to a few Tea Party rallies, and I noticed a visible absence from your opponent. Are you aware of any stance he's taking as far as Tea Party rallies?
I don't think he's attended any, so I don't know if he could take a position, but you know, I've probably been to 20 or 30.
Thank you.
Good.
Hi, I've heard a lot of talk about Obamacare, and I think there's a rally or something after this to be against Obamacare. I'm wondering, I heard some of your discussion about health care. I don't think from hearing what you said that you truly understand the health care situation. I heard some misinformation in what you said. We have a lot of people in Congress right now that are...
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you.
I'm going to ask you a question, okay? I want to frame it first.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No framing. Question.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were pro First Amendment. Is that correct?
Question, please.
Okay. The question is, what are you going to do to change the tenor in Washington, where we have people with Obamacare, which I don't agree with, and we've got people saying that stinks, but there's nobody giving a real plan for how to fix the very broken healthcare system in this country. Where are they? I'm sorry, sir?
Go ahead.
I think it's a valid question. Sure. What are you going to do to change Washington to make it a better place for people to work together? Because right now it's X versus Y, black versus white. There is no discussion, debate. It's always black and white.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I think that we began a little bit of that discussion. It is a long discussion, but we began some of that discussion in talking about how we reform things like pre-existing conditions and portability. And I think multi-year insurance products that would be more like term life insurance are the way to go. I think it is also an important part of, let me finish. If you're going to ask a question, let me finish. The other thing that's important is that we need market forces. Throughout all of the economy, prices do go down because the market works. If we believe that capitalism, the American system, works, let's try to have more of that in healthcare, not more government.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dr. Paul, one other question I have, and that is about immigration. Can you just give us your, maybe a short statement about immigration in our country and the problems?
I think immigration is, and controlling immigration, legalized immigration is a very important function of the federal government. I think we've been doing a crummy job for 30 or 40 years. I think you can't allow millions of people to come into your country without knowing who they are. I think it's a national defense issue. I think our security is threatened by people coming into our country. And there's one other thing I was going to mention on the terrorism is not only is our southern border a possible portal of people coming in, they're coming in on planes, and we're giving them the approval. The underwear bomber came here with an official visa stamped by our government. I proposed in one of my ads that we put a moratorium on travel visas from certain countries that have uncontrolled terrorism. There's probably 10 or 15 countries. Let's just not admit people from their country until we figure out what to do with our visa system.
That concludes our